Hi, how are you? My name is Don Mullen, and I currently am a teacher at Hamtramck High School in my 25th year. I have been coaching athletics for 34 years, all 34 in football at the middle school level, 20 years as a head coach here at Hamtramck. Most recently at Madison Heights Lamphere High School as a defensive coordinator, and prior to that I was at University of Detroit Jesuit coaching as an assistant varsity coach, freshman and JV coach. You know, it's really been a staple in my life, not only for myself, but my entire family, my children. And my father was into sports. He was an All-American at University of Detroit, University of Detroit High School, and then went to University of Detroit College, and actually was signed professionally by the Cleveland Rams at that time, and then they went on to the Los Angeles Rams. So he had a big impact on my team. So there's sports all the time. That's all we were doing at our house: football, basketball, baseball, constantly at our home. You know, I have a large family, 8 children, and everybody was athletic in the family. My mother actually was a very good athlete as a young woman. She played a lot of baseball, and women didn't play as many sports then, but she was a swimmer, played a lot of baseball, messed around with football with the guys, so she was also very athletic. So yeah, sports was always around my family, and they were all an influence on me. There was a lot of good ones when I grew up, so I didn't have one particular, but I was fortunate to have interview a Hall of Famer from the Detroit Tigers from a long time ago, and he's now deceased. But Charlie Gehringer was everything. Second baseman, he won the batting championship in the 30s or 40s, and I was able to interview him when I was a young man, and he was always an inspiration to me. What a great talent he was, and he came from the farm communities of Fowlerville, Michigan, and came in to be a Hall of Famer and a World Series champion for the Tigers. Had a lot, actually, coaching guys like Omar and coaching my former athletes here at Hamtramck, so I had a lot of wonderful memories. And ironically enough, some of my championship teams I had great memories, but some of my teams that did not do so well on the scoreboard or wins and losses had a lot of wonderful memories too. But when I played, I played basketball, varsity, baseball, and I stopped playing baseball, so I had to start making money to pay for high schools. I had a caddy and work, and then football. So I was fortunate to play under Coach Al Fracas, who just retired this year as an All-American coach and NFL coach, high school coach of the year at Birmingham Brother Rice High School. So obviously he was a big impact on my life. He's a very character man and really set the tone for my coaching, I think, in the future. Probably the lack of my senior year in high school, Brother Rice, in football particularly. We missed the playoffs, and it was a very disappointing season the senior year. But as I look back now, it was more the enjoyment of playing and the camaraderie of my teammates and all the experiences that football provided was beneficial. And I was involved again in so much playing and coaching that they're all good experiences to me, nothing really that disappointing. You know, like a lot of other guys, I think I was a multifaceted player. I'm a decent athlete, so I played everything to a pretty decent level. I was not fantastic in any one sport, but in my life I've golfed, I've played tennis, I've played basketball, I played football, I played baseball, I play hockey, still play the hockey nowadays and still play a little basketball. So I've done so many different sports, there's really no particular one I would point out. But football, because it takes so much character to play that sport and a lot of sacrifice, there's a lot of demands on you physically and mentally. In all sports, but in particular that sport, because of the season you play, the heat, the contact of the sport, the physicalness of the sport, and the sacrifice for your teammates, it's a real character builder for life for me. I think now sports, in the fact, I think because there's so much technology out there now, not only the coverage is more relevant now, I think it's quick. There's quick responses now. In the middle of innings in pro baseball now, they're interviewing the coaches. I would never have allowed that back in the day when I was coaching. In the middle of periods in hockey, they're interviewing the coaches. In the middle of the game in the NBA championships, they're interviewing the coaches. So there's a lot more information that are going directly to the fans, which you didn't have in the past. And at the high school level, there's not as much of it, obviously, but still, there's just more quick response and information out there, and I think that's impacted all athletics, especially professionally and collegiately in recent years, and it's because of the big money that's involved with college and pros. I definitely think so, Omar. Sports can have a real impact on someone's life. I think for me, as a young man, my study habits in school were not as good as they should have been. My grade point was not as high as it should have been, and I knew I was intelligent. I knew I had a good background educationally, but the fact that I played sports, in particular football, baseball, and basketball, really helped me to develop study habits when I went to college. And I ended up exceeding and excelling in college because I had those study habits that I think the self-discipline from athletics helped me to learn, and that's how I succeeded. So sports has a direct impact on how I became a teacher, how I became a coach, and how I disciplined myself to succeed as I got older.